Hi guys, it's SkintBoot here, and in today's video, I'm going to be bringing you guys 5 features that would be amazing in Rocket League. Now, Rocket League as a game is pretty perfect. It has really fun gameplay, great optimization for PC, loads of car customization. There really isn't anything this game does wrong. However, in this video, I'm going to be discussing some features which I personally would love to see added into Rocket League. Now, some of these features are quite likely to be added, whilst one or two aren't exactly the most realistic ideas, but are still pretty interesting nonetheless. So enough with the talking, let us start the video. So the first feature which I would love to see added to Rocket League would to be some kind of damage system. Ever since I first played Rocket League, I always found it kind of strange how these cars flew around the map, landed upside down, got hit by other cars, things like that, but they always looked the same. A massive crash head first into a wall does nothing to the appearance of your car whatsoever. It just remains looking exactly the same as when you first started the match. Because of this, I believe having a very basic damage system in the game will be really fun to play with, but would also just make a lot more sense. Now, I'm not stating that your car loses wheels or goes at 3 miles an hour when hit too much, rather that damage is purely cosmetic. Getting hit by other players would result in your car receiving dents, scratches and knocks, maybe even knocking out a headlight or a wing mirror in extreme cases, anything just to make contact feel meaningful. Even on maps like Aquadome, where there's glass on the side, a hard impact from the ball should create like a little crack or dent or just something to make the player feel like they've had a physical impact on the game. Next on the list is something a little more realistic, and that is Steam market trading. So in one of the biggest updates for Rocket League, the developers added in a key and crate system, which is mainly introduced to fund competitions for the game. With these crates came exclusive items like unique body models and decals. So naturally, people wanted to trade these items. However, the process of doing so is actually quite lengthy and tedious. It involves joining a trade group on Steam, posting an announcement about an item you wish to sell and how many keys you want for it, waiting for someone to add you on Steam, inviting you to the trade, and then finally going through with it. Although this system works most of the time, it would be so much easier for the developers to allow the Steam community market to give players a friendly platform to sell these items on. This, for one, reduces the chance of getting scammed, but also sets a clear price for items. Item prices are all based on keys at this point in time, and they randomly go up and down all the time. So having a Steam market which displays how much an item has sold for recently gives a very clear idea of what price you're supposed to be selling these items for. But most importantly, it just makes the whole process that much easier. The amount of times I've wanted to trade some black market decals that I don't want, only to never get any replies or requests, is so frustrating when I know that I could have sold that item for real money on Steam within 5 minutes. It's an absolute necessity that needs to be added into the game. Moving on now, we have triple cross-platform support. Now, it's common knowledge that Rocket League is on all 3 platforms, i.e. Steam, Xbox and PlayStation, which is actually quite rare. Currently, Steam and PlayStation players can play together very easily. However, for some reason, Xbox is left out of the equation. Now, I understand that Microsoft is quite funny with these kind of things, so I completely understand that it's not entirely up to the devs to implement this feature. However, considering how Microsoft is pushing really hard to merge Xbox and Windows 10 users, I wouldn't be surprised if they gave the all clear for cross-platform. But I mainly want this feature just for how mad the rivalries will be. I mean, at the moment, it's already pretty intense with Steam and PlayStation players fighting to win matches, so adding in Xbox players will only further the competition, especially with PlayStation players. Again, I understand it's not a simple task. However, the benefits of doing triple cross-platform are so great and would 100% breathe some more life into the Rocket League community. Next up, we have an in-game custom decal or some kind of skin creator. Now, this is a bit of a weird one for me because it seems like Rocket League doesn't really need this feature, as in the game won't die if it doesn't exist. However, I still think it would be absolutely fantastic if it were in the game. So by a custom skin creator, I mean some kind of tool that allows users to make their own paint jobs or decals for their cars. Very similar to that of Treyarch's Black Ops games, where you unlock different shapes, letters and signs to create your own cute call sign. Of course, I'm not expecting the same sweaty system from COD, rather just a fairly basic movement system that allows you to take shapes, change their colours and just slap them onto your car. Now, I am aware that there is a way of doing this at this point in time. I mean, at least I think there is. However, it is, I think, third party for a start, and by the sounds of it, sounds pretty fucking complicated. It's essentially modding, and to be honest with you, who actually has time for that? So for a system like the existing third-party one to just be ported into some kind of in-game menu and touched up for mainstream use would be so amazing, and would provide so much more creativity in Rocket League, allowing you to actually make your car feel special to you, like you really do own it. And finally, the last feature I would love to see added to Rocket League would be unofficial tournaments. Every time I pop onto Rocket League for a quick game, I'm nearly always presented with this fat box on the right hand side of the screen advertising some big ass tournament with a 50 grand cash prize. But only the biggest boys in a playground are allowed to compete in this. So what about us ickle casual players that just want something a bit more serious than a simple competitive match? Well, my answer to that would be community tournaments, or just what they have in the big city but for us regular folk. I think the best way to conduct this would be through a similar system to 8-Ball Pool. What a game. Honestly, what a great game. In 8-Ball Pool, tournaments require a fee to enter and allow for 8 or so players to play each other until eventually all get knocked out but 2, who then compete for the winner's prize. If this were to exist in Rocket League, I would die. The amount of overflowing sweat and shit buckets underneath my chair would be so enormous, I'd probably contract some kind of breathing disorder by the end of the day. I say this because competitive doesn't always feel competitive enough. Having a fat prize at the end of a lengthy tournament sounds a lot sweatier than just playing a normal 1v1 with the word competitive slapped under the score. If the devs could even add exclusive items for winning these tournaments, then my life would be complete. Please add it into the game. So that is the end of the video, guys. I do hope you enjoyed. As always, if you did enjoy it, please do feel free to leave a like on the video. If you guys could also subscribe to this channel, then that would be absolutely fantastic. And as always, I will see you guys on my next video. This is SkintBoot, signing out.